I think Mr. Cobra's here. He's made his case. Please actually address the arguments that Mr. Cobra made. That you can't.
Yes, Your Honor.
No more of these weasel words about the count. You've got to address the argument that Mr. Cobra made. Attack that, if you will, and you will have an opportunity to make your case, of course. And of course, Mr. Cobra will have an opportunity to cross-examine. But I want you to focus on what is being said here in court. No more weasel words about the way that excuse me, Dr. Gordo. No more weasel words about the way that the count is worded. I want you to address the substance of the argument and the count as written in the complaint.
It's fine. Let's talk about his argument real quick. You said that there were old, depressed, angry shells in your rambling there.
Yes.
Explain that. Elaborate. Because you did a whole lot of hearsay where we didn't hear anything from you, how you felt about it. You just said, play the clip, play the clip, play the clip. Tell me, why were they old, depressed, angry shells?
Well,
Give me an example.
Well, if you go into episode 7, as I stated with the writer Michael Arndt, his entire first screenplay was around Luke Skywalker being the focus. J.J. Abrams came in, fired that man, and we only get to see Luke Skywalker at the end, the very end of The Force Awakens, leaving fans hanging for 2 years as to speculate what's going to happen with Luke. This is going to be the most amazing thing ever. Rey's handing him the lightsaber. Speculation, playing on emotions, something you're saying is a bad thing, yet Disney and Lucasfilm played on our emotions for years and made us speculate for years. And then only to go into episode 8 after 2 years of speculation, of hype and anticipation for Luke Skywalker to grab that beloved lightsaber and toss it over his shoulder as an angry shell of what he used to be. And some of us looked at that and said, okay, they're just building up to the hero's journey again, which isn't necessarily what you needed to do with Luke Skywalker at that point in time in his life. But hey, we're going with it. Let's see what they do with Luke. We're going to get Luke at some point here. We never got Luke Skywalker. He was an old, angry man on a planet, and he ran away from all of his responsibility. And he was a pathetic shell of himself. Han Solo literally was the same person that he was in the OT. He never evolved. He never became anything. He was just an old, cranky version of what he always was. There was no evolution. He was the divorced father that had no connection to his son. That is not a hero. That's not who we wanted Han Solo to be. And then, of course, we see what they did with Princess Leia, and we all know if Carrie Fisher were here, she would have absolutely given Lucasfilm holy hell in the public. God rest her soul. And shout out to Carrie Smith.
Can you elaborate? You said we all know. Just treat me like I'm an idiot. We all know what Carrie Fisher is.
That's not very hard. But anyway, what I could do is pull up any videos from Carrie Fisher.
I don't want you to pull anything up. I want you to tell me. Just stop double speaking. Tell me.
Again, what did you just ask me?
You said we all know what they did wrong with Carrie Fisher. I want you to tell me, what did they do wrong with Carrie Fisher, with Princess Leia?
Have you seen episode 8, sir?
Yes, I have.
And you need me to tell... Wait, hang on.
Articulate.
You need me to tell you what they did wrong in episode 8.
Yes, that's the whole reason we're here. It is to articulate. Or you can just say, hey, guys, I know I'm right. Yep, I'm right. Talk. Big boy words.
Okay, so did you see her flying through space like Mary Poppins? Did that seem very Star Wars-like to you?
Thank you. That's all I was asking. I wanted specific.
I'm asking you a question. You answer my question now. Did you think that was acceptable?
Sure.
You thought that was acceptable.
I'll get to that in my defense.
And you think that's going to help
examination?
We're focusing on Princess Leia flying through space as Mary Poppins.
Focusing on your arguments. Focusing on your arguments.
Okay, and I want to reiterate one more time for ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you, Defense Sam, you think that Carrie Fisher flying through space like Mary Poppins is acceptable.
It was more like Superman, but yes, and I'll get to that and I'll explain it.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We appreciate that.
Moving on, let's say you wanted Luke to be the focus. So let's take this back. If we were to focus on Luke...
I didn't want Luke to be... The original screenwriter wanted Luke to be the focus, and J.J. Abrams, who is here today, decided to fire that writer because, in quote from Michael Arndt himself, Luke Skywalker took too much attention away from the new characters. What is today's count? What is today's count, Defense? Why don't you repeat that for me real quick? What is today's count?
The count is negligent misuse of legacy characters.
Thank you. Is Luke Skywalker a legacy character?
Yes, he's a legacy character.
Okay.
But I just wanted to nail down what you said.
Did Michael Arndt get fired for focusing too much on the legacy character?
According to what you presented, yeah.
No. According to the article I shared, which is a quote which has been verified and is a fact, Mr. Abrams is here today. Did you make the decision to fire Michael Arndt for using Luke Skywalker too much, that took too much attention away from Rey?
And you always need to be able to respond to the unexpected, and the unexpected can come in all sorts of forms.
Thank you, JJ. Once again, a non-answer.
Yep, just like you, DDayCobra. We're good at non-answers. All right, let's move on to the next one.
It's DDayCobra, not Coda. You're getting a little nervous. You got to settle down, defense. It's 1 versus 3. You guys should not be squirming out of control. I'm a one man who clearly doesn't have any education whatsoever, as your question has said, yet I am annihilating you. Calm down, say your words clearly, and it'll be okay.
Hey, if I may help, having a plan, I have learned in some cases the hard way, is the most critical thing, because otherwise you don't know what you're setting up. You don't know what to emphasize. You don't know how to argue. So yeah.
Judge, I feel dumber every time he talks. So, essentially, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job of representing Disney, because your entire argument is just to blame the audience for not liking the creative vision behind it, and then trying to justify it by all of these ridiculous reaches, when ultimately it's a really simple method here that, Disney Star Wars is on trial because the fans widely rejected it. And you can say that there was no death that, anyone would be happy with, but that's just not the case. We've seen death in films before that people thought were honorable and respectable. We are talking about the disrespect from the beginning. The reason that something like Disney Star Wars is on trial today and Cobra Kai isn't is because Cobra Kai did it the right way. And if Disney Star Wars would have done something with these legacy characters, much like a Cobra Kai, we wouldn't be here today. But my question is for the defense, have any of you seen Star Wars?
You may answer.
Yes. That's a fair question. Have you seen Star Wars? And I don't want to get a Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant answer. I just love all Star Wars, or a Brie Larson answer. Have you seen Star Wars? And what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I personally have not.
Who said that?
JJ.
It's me, Lenny S. Flair, a.k.a. J.J. Abrams. Anybody help me get out of this mystery box? It's very defining.
Have any of you seen Star Wars? Any of the members of the defense?
Yes.
Yes.
Episode 3 is my favorite.
Okay. That's a good answer. Anyone else on the defense? Have you seen Star Wars?
Yes, we have.
Okay. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Empire.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Yeah,
And, a close second, Rise of Skywalker. Close second.
Why Rise of Skywalker, might I ask?
Why Rise of Skywalker?
Can I just add this? JJ, speaking for everybody, can you just not talk, please? Thank you. Okay, going to the defense now.
Yeah.
Well,
so you've used what is this, high mythology a few times.
Can
you define, as an uneducated man myself, can you kind of tell us what high mythology means?
Well, we can give you some examples. For example, like Lord of the Rings is high mythology.
High mythology.
Any mythology which has embedded and into its symbols and allegories timeless universal truths, which are common to all high myths. And
you use that term. Use that term for me again. Timeless.
What's that?
Timeless. You said timeless.
Timeless
truths,
and
right?
universal. Yes.
Right. Okay. So why is Kathleen Kennedy in this high mythology of timeless truths? Why is she so focused on current day politics and sidelining legacy characters in order to have representation? If we're talking about a high mythology and timeless truths, why has she specifically, the CEO and president of Lucasfilm, said that we want Star Wars to look more like the real world? That is a quote from Kathleen Kennedy. So you said it's a high mythology. You said it's supposed to be timeless, but Kathleen Kennedy said we want Star Wars to look like the real world.
Because as we explained in our opening remarks of the defense, that the meta mythology being told in the Disney sequel trilogy is the hero's journey of Star Wars itself, and someone has to be the villain. Someone has to be the one that creates the politicization, just like Constantine politicized.
Yeah, I would like you to answer the specific question that I asked you, and not a bunch of fluff and a bunch of big words. So again, why, if it's a timeless high mythology, did Kathleen Kennedy say Star Wars needs to look more like the real world? Can you tell me how those two connect?
Because she's a useful idiot and she misspoke.
That's a good answer.